Oh, God, right. It's Flower Fest today. I don't even know what that means. I don't even have any flowers. Ah, oh, Punchy left. Or Punchy. Losing some of our originals. Hi there, young splurt. Today is Hollow is in bloom. It's the Flower Fest, so if you want to learn more about it, you better start buttering me up. Pretty, please? Residents transform the area around their home into the garden of their dreams. After everyone in town has done so, I will choose the best garden as the last day of the flower. I'll grant the best gardener the esteemed title of Green Thumb. You're the best. It's not just about planting flowers willy-nilly. A beautiful garden is well planned with a sense of order and dignity. But for my money, I like dazzling dense array of flowers. You should take this sprout. A red tulip bag. This is the symbol of my thanks for letting my heart's garden bloom. With a tuberculosis or whatever the fuck you just said to me. Are you dying? I'm gonna just go buy a bunch of flowers and plant them by my house, I guess. Even though I don't have... just for funsies. It would be funny if it's like, I gotta go buy flowers, and then you just go and they're all sold out. Everyone bought them all. Like, oh no. Oops. Sorry. Fat fingered both buttons. Appreciate that my computer, Windows, wants to tell me that there's an accident close by on a highway. But how am I going to care right now? I'm not driving. I'm in my home. I'm not going anywhere. Thought I also turned that off. But probably an update turned it back on. What else is new? Hey, there's an accident on this specific highway. Cool, I'm sitting in my chair playing a video game. And I wasn't driving anywhere. Or are you telling me I'm gonna be the accident? Already got a pink box. I still need, I think, a pink flooring. Or at least pink enough. Don't come.
Don't come!
Kitty cat, God, it's just all the same shit. I don't want these. I don't care about the walls. I don't need any more walls right now. I need a fucking pink floor. Thanks much. Please come again. I don't know if I want to. Tita's laughing is not what I need all the time. It's not about just planting flowers willy-nilly. I'm just gonna plant them. Just gonna fucking plant them everywhere. I don't even care. Yeah, there's my garden. Dun, dun. Pitfall? Yep. I don't get excited until I get the first pitfall out of the way. Hi, Bob. Everyone's got their watering cans out for the flower festival. I still never bought one. Everyone take care of flowers today. Chill day to enjoy this before everything just turns to shit later. I could shake a tree without having to get rid of this. Give me your coconuts. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, we got 2 out of the 3, so that's good. Finding them. Honey rock. Honey rock. Give me the monies. Gimme, gimme. Want a payday crossover event with Animal Crossing where you go to a village that looks just like these, where it's all bright and colorful, but you're like drilling into a rock. Like you're just trying to find the correct rock, and then you plant the drill constantly breaks as usual, it's a piece of shit drill. And you just keep fighting off waves of like Tom Nook's special security force. While trying to get the money out of the rock. They're all just raccoons. Raccoons. There's like raccoons, regular raccoons in body armor. One with a giant shield. A raccoon dozer. Gotta find the third one, but I'll give you these first. This is an amber. I should return it to you, but we don't actually have amber. I'd love for her to work here. Sure, take it. I think we actually did donate an amber along with the mammoth during the one save that never happened. Thank you. So I was looking through to make sure I had my shit ready for if I do Persona. We almost had to cancel Persona because my data was all wrong until I figured out, like, that it was pulling from a different thing, and thank God I fixed it, because I was about to lose my mind. Because I like, loaded it up, and I was like, why am I level 26, and why do I have to go through this fucking, like, I was stuck in the building, couldn't leave, had to go for that, like, harem queen person lady again. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do this again, because I have to do it twice. And I don't want to fucking go through that again. And then it was like, I was like, there's no way. I have the recording that I literally finished all that. Boasts a mild flavor. It's quite drinkable for those with an unrefined palate. And then eventually I found the right one where I'm level like 40 or 50 and I'm on my way to the Haunted Mansion. So I was like, thank God I found that. I was going to get pissed. I was like, I'm not playing if I've lost it or I have to do that again, because I did not enjoy that whole running in there and doing that fucking queen bullshit thing where it was like, you run down her meter, and then she sends you back to the beginning, and you have to go through it again. I was like, fuck that. But I got to like 50 or something, 40 or 50 levels or whatever, so I'm like, my personas may not be the best, but I'm hoping I'm okay enough to kind of keep getting through everything. But I have ways if I have to bullshit it if I run into trouble. So I'm not looking to keep struggling in the game. If I run into issues, I'm more than likely I'm probably going to end up cheating. Just because I don't want to take, like, I'm already, like, I was burnt out on Persona 1 because I grinded so much just to get to the levels I've been. That's why I also just didn't want to play it, because I'm like, I'm just... Okay. Just didn't want to go through it again for a little bit. No one coming to get you. Kitty's like, someone's at the door, and it's like, I know who it is, it's fine. Just keep sleeping. Keep getting your rest on. Still have another hour before you want your dinner. He was like, okay, and he just pushed his face back into the blanket. No, more noises outside, I know. Someone's coming into the house, it's okay, it's just Mom's boyfriend. I'm Mallory. Me, I'm the best gardener. Yeah, you probably are, because I'm definitely not going to do well in the whole Flower Fest thing. Bum, 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 bum. But after I eventually ever finish Persona 1, I don't know if we're going to jump into a different RPG. And then eventually I'll play Persona of something, or if I'm just going to play 3 and skip 2 and just read about 2. Watch someone else play it. I don't know if I'm going to play old 3 and then go to new 3. I don't know. I'm not, like, that critically, like, caring of the overall arching story between it all. I'm more of a... I only did it for mechanic purposes, but I kind of want to play more modern versions of them. So, who knows? I only really care about... the only time I care about the story is when it's involving the people I'm playing as. I want to try something. I was reading this fashion magazine. It had a personality quiz. Sure. Ask them honestly and don't take too long to think. If you have a lot of food, do you eat your favorite dish first? Yes. If you're being totally honest, would you say that you're a very lazy person? Yes. Do you hate not being the one in the spotlight? No. Do you have dreams and ambitions for the future? No. Do you worry about the things for a long time after they've happened? Yes. Wow, you're Pelly, the lovely lass who works at the front desk at the town hall. You are a trusting soul with high standards and a pure heart. You're selfless to a fault and you reach out to others in need. I don't think that's what I answered. Everyone respects you and relies on your assistance. I don't think that's true at all. Fortunately, not everyone can live up to your high standards. I mean, I have high standards, but it's for myself. I hate to be the one to bring a dose of reality your way, but you probably learned to be a little less trusting of the motives of others. Yeah, that was great. I think you got me entirely wrong. But I don't know. I may just end up playing the new Persona 3, or I may play the older one, like, just to compare, but at this point, I just want to play whatever and have fun. I'm not going to be picky about it. Some games I have an interest in going from old to new, but RPG games like Persona that could take a long time, and how slow I am to play a game, I don't think I want to do that for all of them. I can always just go backwards if I want, if there's an interest for me to do so. Like, if I sat there and was like, I'm going to play all the old Final Fantasies before I play 7 and 8 and all that, we'd be here forever. I'd never even get to see them. I think we'd be at, like, 3 by now if I was lucky. Kitty's just like, I hear things I don't understand. But we'll see. I may go to the older one. I may just jump right into the new one once I'm done with one. We'll see how I feel. But that's if I even go to Persona next. That's if I even play Persona right after. I may jump into something else. Also partially wondering if I'm gonna, when I get to Infinite Wealth and like a dragon, if I'm gonna jokingly play them on English so I can poke fun at the English, but also because it's so much easier for people when streaming to hear the English and digest the story, even if it sounds terrible coming from some of the people. Not all are bad. Their casting is definitely better in some regards, but also shitty in others. But it is also such a weird change when you play Yakuza and switch to English all of a sudden after hearing the same voice actors for so long in Japanese. I definitely wouldn't care. I'd karaoke all the songs once in English just to listen to them and laugh, but then I'd probably go back to Japanese for them. For the humor's sake, I would do English. For streaming and people that don't always watch what's on the screen and are on other tabs, having English is just nice for streaming because of, you don't have to fucking read the subtitles. I mean, at least Judgment, and Lost Judgment, I didn't even play in Japanese because it was a whole set of different characters, so it wasn't going to be weird. And, like, they were a whole cast of different characters, so there wasn't really, like, if there was anybody returning, there weren't anything major for me to care about. Or somehow being brought up, so I was like, I'm fine with all of this. Yakuza, it's a mixture of, it's easier for people, it's a lot nicer to have English for people, but for continuity, like the continuation, I like the Japanese voices just because I'm familiar with their tone of voice and everything with that. Come on. I have this totally cute secret item. Do you have any money? Yeah, I'm average. I don't need honesty. I need a buyer with tons of bells. And now I'm happy that you're poor. Yeah, it's a mixture of just like I like the sound of the Japanese voices, but for me personally, even though I have to read everything, so I might not fully understand the story all the time because there's a lot of reading to be involved and it sinks in a little easier in English, but English is just easier for streaming and YouTube vids for people that are just listening and not watching every detail happening on screen. Good or bad sounding, it you still understand what's going on if you listen. Because normally I really don't care. I don't care about dub or subbed or whatever. I will use whatever I have. It's just like I don't really care if it sounds terrible all the way through, but it's more of like once I was forced in one area, so changing it will be a little jarring. Like Majima and all of them have like a distinct Japanese voice, so when they go to talk in English, I'll just be like, what the fuck? That's not Mark Hamill or whatever the fuck, whoever it was that played Majima and Yakuza's first English attempt. But I already know the voice, clearly the voices for English for Kiryu, original and current, and definitely is not the best, but not the worst I've heard when it comes to dubs. And also, it's one of those things where I'm like, it's going to be jarring at first, but I probably would just get used to it. I'm probably going to be fine with whoever it is after enough time. Like, I might not fully like it, but I can just deal with it, kind of thing. Plus, English, when it's done not so great, it's always fun to poke. It just adds for more comedy to poke fun at, which I like when I'm streaming. I get the feeling when it comes to the casting, I don't think they had any intention of like trying to ruin it. I doubt that's their goal. if there is a Japanese casting and then there's people like and then there's a hired group of English guys that are looking for casting, I think they just had to go off of whatever was described to them by an interpreter or a piece of paper or an email. Like, look for this, and even if it doesn't, and they just went with it. Like, could they have just stuck with OG? Sure, but did they probably were like, we need to get something different because of the aging thing? Then sure, but they definitely, I think the people that were trying to cast definitely, I just dropped the shoe, but whatever. You know, I feel like there was a miscommunication, but they just got what they wanted, or they just got it and they went with it. Plus, English isn't their selling point anyway. Like, they don't have as much heritage. They want to make sure for Japanese, it's got a way more consistent base for that. English, it's kind of like, you know, it's an option. No one's gonna like it there. We could be fine with just going to Japanese. But I've heard his voice. It's not the worst. There are times where I'm like, his delivery is a bit flat. I'm like, a little more oomph in there, but it's not the worst, but it's far from being the best of any kind of performance. And then I'm like, karaoke is also just going to sound like shit regardless. Like, these, you know, they're just... Something about when Japanese, when I don't understand Japanese fully, everything just sounds better. And so, and the songs flow better. In English, it just sounds wrong, but also they're not singers. Some of them are okay singers, but they like auto-tuned them a bit, and so it sounds worse. I'll probably do all karaoke once in English for fun, but then anytime I do it, fucking switch it back to Japanese. If I ever want to karaoke. I would have joked to me like they should have gotten me to do the voice. I'm like, one, mine wouldn't work, and two, I couldn't read about 98% of what you wanted me to say. So unless you want Kitty to suddenly just be insane in English and have no idea how to pronounce anyone's name, don't ever hire me for that. You know that's not how you say his name, right? It's like, I can't read. You now have to read. You should just know his name. Nah, I can't read. It's also the one tough thing is like, they still keep that like, you know, the etiquette of saying like Kiryu-chan and all that stuff. So it's weird when I hear people in English voice try to say it because, like, I understand that's what they're doing, but it also never sounds or flows right out of us. It's because we don't do that enough, so it's not like a normality for me, but it just, when we try to speak the way they do, it doesn't come across correctly. So I don't think there's a single video game character out there that my voice would be good for. Unless you just want terrified, scared virgin. So probably I would have been good for like a Tony Hawk Underground game. This guy keeps bullying me and he's taking all of my money. Anyway, can you get like a score of 2,000 at this half pipe? What? Feels like we just picked up a different book. Son of a bitch. Why are you even, like, swimming at a wall? Why? Why does this keep happening? Olive flounder. Catch this set of fish, then we'll sell, put a little bit of money in, and then it'll probably be a nice shorter day again for this, because I got things I want to get to playing while I have any mental energy for it. And to see if I even want to continue it. We'll play it, see how it goes. If I run into hard times, then I'll just be like, you know what? It's not for me. Want to play Queen's Blood? No. Okay. It's deck. Hey, I got there. Took a while. And also, I had all the cards he did anyway. I just switched my... Like, I literally just threw together a random deck, and it worked out just fine. All I needed was to throw those fucking ogres in that bitch, and we were fine. Like, I just needed something to where if I place it down below with a decent amount of power, then I could take the top area with a decent amount of power. I just like... my common thing. I can't make decks. I'm not good at it. Anyway, I threw together this one and beat him. I mean, it was just kind of a slight twist on the other pre-made deck, but still. Well, let's just try this. Oh, I won. And I first tried that whole fucking ceremony thing, so I was able to get that boosted friendship for Aerith and Tifa, so that was good. I didn't have to take multiple shots at that. Parade thing worked out well. Good thing I was practicing to be like an idol, so I was already good to go at doing that shit. I think we fought a total of like 4 times. That whole session went on. I think I only fought like 4 or 5 things, and that was it. And one little boss fight. Then the rest of the session was just Queen's Blood. Wasn't the most action-packed, but did alright. And I actually handled that boss fight pretty well. All things considered. Given how I am terrible at timing, so the fact that I was able to parry a lot of shit at a good enough time was pretty impressive for myself. It's all that Elden Ring trade. No, not even close. Eh, it happens. It literally just comes down to what am I going to draw and get to first, but also without being too overly aggressive that they take my shit. Plus, I sometimes don't think in the, and I could just end the sentence there, I don't, like, strategize as well as I could, so when I used the magic pot enemy, I didn't realize how effective that was. When I set up the whole board for that to happen, I was like, oh, that actually worked out well. I win. Like, I was looking at a different number, and then I realized, oh, no, that worked out great. And also taking out one of the enemies, I thought, like, okay, this will even us up, and then I'll win this top section. And it's like, no, it actually destroyed everything, and it worked out for me. Like, oh, cool. All according to plan. It was just hard to focus. She kept talking about me being stiff. Wants my fingers. He wants to touch my hands, and I don't like it. My name is Camera Such. Do you really need all of that? I was going to give you a present, but you can't hold it. Oh, wow. What terrible luck you have. Thanks. I was going to give you a gift, but it seems like your pockets are full. Yeah, well, I'm trying to make money. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there you go, there you go. Snares and 5 Hindu. I can buy me some chocolate chip cookies. So what? To be or not to be? To be to. I won bingo. That was so corny, but it's all I got. I'll show you 2B. Want to buy my birdhouse for 1940? It's too much. Funny in Tom Nook. Told Tom Nook he should take it for 3,000. Lost that poor old Nook just went pale. I don't want it anyway. I didn't want to buy it. It should have been the buddy price. I just want to pay my mortgage. There you go. All right, 572,000 left to go. Out of here. All right, well, caught a bit of fish. Got our debt somewhat attacked, but not very. Now we can get on to other things. Stop looking at me, old man. All right, perfect. It's another short day, though, but a nice day of some Animal Crossing. Get back to it with more debt paying soon enough. Oh, Jesus, so much debt.